we learned this from Dan Kennedy. His book,
he's brilliant.
Trust-based marketing is the holy grail of building trust through marketing. Everything I do is like literally page by page. Like you know this as well as most people that know me. I'm not the smartest kid, but I will find whoever is, and I'm good at copying. And so I learned everything from Kennedy. Most of the greatest marketers on the planet have, him as the mentor. But the shock and awe box was, a Dan Kennedy, thing. But again, Dan is this way. And like going back to your whole dentist story too, like the best, you really want to, the goal is to create a business where people would run through red lights to want to do business with you if you would accept them, to use you as their trusted advisor. If I could buy, like putting the red rope out, right? So you go to Vegas and you see the big red rope and everybody's outside, and you get in the club and there's like 12 people in there, and you're like, they sold that really good, right? But it's that loose, it creates that, well, this must be really good because it's hard to get in, right? And the same thing with the dentist is my dentist, I'd have to wait sometimes 2 months to get an appointment. I'm like, dang, man. My perception wasn't he's too busy for me. My perception was I better not miss that appointment, right? Like that was my whole mindset around it. That's how I thought about it, genuinely how I thought about it, whether it was true or not. The perception of being difficult to get to. And what do real estate agents typically do? Make it easy to get to you. There's no gatekeeper for your time. Yeah, I could be right there. That doesn't create the what is the word I'm looking for? It doesn't
Fomo,
create
fear of missing out, or the
perception that you are valuable. It doesn't. The perception of value isn't there. Well, you don't even value your time. There's no gatekeeper for your time. There's nobody pre-selling saying certain things about you that's not you saying it, right? When you get there. And so if you wait till you get there to go through all your awards and all how great you are, and how, now it's just devalued because you're the one saying it. So, so you want to have as much of that happen before. I want you to see me as a rock star before I ever get there. And then, I don't have to sell myself. That part's already been done. And that I learned that from Dan Kennedy. And, we were going to have him speak at one of our events. And he's like, we have to do 2 webinars. Everybody gets a book. There's certain things he wants you to consume when he gets on stage. He don't have to go through his accolades and tell how great he is. Mm-hmm. And he was very specific about what those things were. When you think of Dan Kennedy, you're like grumpy old man, makes people a ton of money. Probably won't take you as a client because if he would, he probably would fire you anyways. Very difficult to deal with, impossible to get a hold of, hates social media and technology, doesn't even have a cell phone. Like all these things were embedded in every book he wrote, mm-hmm. Make people a lot of money, very grumpy old man. Like that's his persona. And then everything he did in marketing was to position himself that way. When me and Mike wanted to hire Dan Kennedy, it was $38,000 to do a day with Dan Kennedy. And there's no way to get a hold of this guy. He doesn't have, there's no page, there's no social media, there's no contact us, there's nothing. The guy's a ghost. Like we had to get to one of the events, chase him down in the hallway and like, Dan, we want to do a day with you. We had heard, that it's $38,000 and all this stuff or whatever, but so then he gives us his assistant's email address. We email her. We had to pay half up front before we even got on a call to discuss. And I was like, because Dan Kennedy, one of his quotes is amateurs get paid before, when the work's complete, and professionals get paid before work begins. And that always stuck with me because I always know that I got paid at the end of the transaction, right? Like real estate. That's what, and so, but then we were still like, Mike and I were looking, even knowing what he was doing to us, we were still like, I wonder if he's going to take us as a client. I wonder if he's even going to take the rest of our money. You know what I mean? Like we were kind of fearful, like, man, we better play this right. Don't be late to like the way he has positioned himself to charge $38,000 for a day is brilliant. And that is what we want to do as real estate agents. We want to be positioned in such a way that people go, oh my gosh, I'm lucky that I even have this opportunity.
Club Wealth is the only coaching company on the planet that will literally guarantee that you will double your income or make at least an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we will give you 100% of your investment back. Click the link below, sign up for the appropriate tier level, and let's get you a strategy session today. And I promise you, I 100% guarantee you, promise you that you will walk away with a heart full of gratitude for the time that we took for you because you got so much value out of that call. Schedule your strategy session today. I promise you'll be glad you did.